Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm just finishing up my day here at Epic Universe. Just a few little updates. I tried some new food. At the end, I did something I definitely should not have done. But primarily what I did in this video was walk around and test all of these single rider lines they have here at Epic Universe. But before I get too far ahead of myself, let's get back to the start of my day and show you how it all went down. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Rick here. 10:21 a.m. at Epic Universe, and the first thing I need to tell you about single rider lines is the Isle of Berk doesn't have any. There's 3 rides in here: Fire Drill, Hiccup's Wing Glider, and Dragon Racers Rally. None of them have a single rider line. The second thing I should tell you about the single rider lines, the rides that do offer a single rider line, the single rider line is not always open. Universal has the ability to open and close those based on what they're seeing happening with the regular standby line. Stardust Racers does have a single rider line. Let's go test it out. Hopefully it's open. It's currently closed. We'll check back later. The regular line was only a 35-minute wait, so that probably doesn't warrant the single rider line being open. So we'll just move on to the Wizarding World, which only has 1 ride, which is Harry Potter and the Battle at the Ministry. Currently a 90-minute wait. Let's hop in the single rider line and see if we can do better than 90 minutes. Okay, I just got off the Battle at the Ministry. Super fun. It was a perfect run through. My wait time with the single rider line, 10 minutes, 26 seconds. That was awesome. That's totally awesome. Now, when you do the single rider line, you do get to see the big atrium of the Ministry. You will miss some smaller rooms. Probably the most impressive visual that you're going to miss with the single rider line would be Dolores Umbridge's office. But, you know, is that worth like an extra 80 minutes to see? You guys, make that decision for yourself. You could have waited 90 minutes, which right now it's gone up to 100 minutes, or under 11 minutes like I did. Into the Dark Universe, which has 2 rides currently, and they both have single rider line options. Monsters Unchained and Curse of the Werewolf, which is currently a 45-minute wait. Let's start our timer and step into the single rider line. I am very interested to see how this one turns out. With this one, the queue doesn't matter. The queue is nothing special at all for the regular line or single rider line. Just getting off Curse of the Werewolf. That's a cute little fun coaster, good family coaster. 11 minutes and 38 seconds for the single rider line. Not too bad, I would say. I'm going to go ahead and do Monsters Unchained, even though I've done single rider on this ride dozens of times. The wait time for standby is just 15 minutes. So single rider line is going to be super short, under 5 minutes. The only thing is, single rider line, you don't see any of the queue. It's just a dark hallway that you walk down, and the queue itself in here, pretty awesome. Nice animatronics, great lighting and everything, so you'll miss out on that. So if it came between single rider line at 5 minutes and a standby wait at 15, you might as well do the standby wait at 15. But since I am testing the single rider lines, I'm going to go ahead and get in line and give it a shot today again. And just like that, I'm off the ride. Wait time 3 minutes 41 seconds. I guess now is as good a time as any to mention results may vary. This is just how it's going today, which is very, very well. I'm very happy with this video. I'm having a good time making it, but different days could lead to different results. Just keep that in mind if you are going to do the single rider lines during your visit. And here's a quick little general update for you. For those of you who are interested in the Dark Universe vinyl soundtrack, it has not returned here yet. I'm keeping an eye out for it though. Super Nintendo World, 2 rides with single rider lines. Let's see if they're open. Mario Kart, a 2-hour wait. Oh, I'm so nervous for this one. It's open. Let's do it. The timer started. Things have been going so well. Will it continue to go well? This one is not going well at all. I am mentally prepared for this to take 1 hour, and it's going to be tested. And now we just got a message about a ride delay. Finally moving again after a 30-minute delay. Finally, off of Mario Kart. Not my highest score today. Today I scored at 136. The wait time for single rider line was 56 minutes, 59 seconds. When I got into the queue, the standby was saying 2 hours, but then we also had like a 30-minute delay inside the ride too, so it was a little weird. I just ended up waiting, you know, almost an hour. So it is what it is. I used up all my good luck with the battle at the ministry. So let's continue on. We have a couple more single rider lines to test. So into Donkey Kong Country we go to see if the single rider line for Minecart Madness is even open. It's not. So let's do this. Let's go grab a lunch real fast, and then after lunch we'll check back with Minecart Madness and Stardust Racers to see if the single rider lines are open then. The line for Toadstool Cafe is out the door with switchbacks. We won't be dining there. All right, let's pivot and do lunch at the Goblet Noir in the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. This is the beef goulash for $18.99. Hearty beef stew with tomatoes, peppers, potatoes, Hungarian paprika, served with egg noodles. So that was another fantastic meal in the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. Beef stew, savory but not over seasoned. I really like the noodles, and it's a good thing I did, because underneath the noodles, the biggest chunks of beef. I would have missed out on that. And then I really like that they had the bread. The bread was nice, so you could dip it in the stew. That's a nice hearty kind of comfort food meal. Something I would really look forward to having, say, in the winter time. So I have to remember that for then. Stardust Racers is a 45-minute wait, but the single rider line is still not open. Okay then, back in the Super Nintendo world, checking on Minecart Madness. It's a 90-minute wait, and they just now reopened the single rider line. Let's start the time clock and get into it. So as usual, a rough ride on Minecart Madness. I think it's meant to be that way, kind of rough in a fun way, like Dinosaur at Animal Kingdom. I think that's how it's meant to be. I think it just misses the mark though. But what was the standby? I'm sorry, the single rider wait time was 40 minutes, 25 seconds. About what I expect for that one, and you're not gonna miss much when it comes to the queue by going single rider line versus the standby line. The standby line, not much to talk about anyway. But the Minecart Madness single rider line, that's the one that I'm always most nervous about. I've been on all these single rider lines before, I just haven't made a video on them. That's the one that is the most questionable. You know, it turned out to be like okay today. Just to give you a little peek into my mind, when it comes to the single rider lines, I always in my head hope for half of the standby wait time, which as you see today, it was awesome most of the time. At worst, it was half of the standby wait time. But that's just a little trick I do in my head to prepare me as I step into the single rider line. Now the problem is, I've been on single rider lines a lot, so I'm starting to learn a true expectation. So the little trick I do of, oh, it'll be half the time, it's not gonna work much longer. And now I'm gonna do something I know I shouldn't do, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Since I'm having such a good day, fun day, riding rides, why not just go over the top and have some Mount Beanpole cake? $8.99. This is the icing on the cake to my awesome day. Get it? The cake is the icing on the cake. It's chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry layered cake topped with matcha mousse. Ah, that was fantastic. One of my favorite desserts here. I just worry that maybe now my tongue is green because of the icing. But anyway, what a great way to end a great day. If you like my Universal content, go check out my Disney content channel, Rick's in the Queue. There's a link to it in the description box. And as always, don't miss the magic, don't miss the fun. See you next time.